Behind the whirlwind of world history lies a secret that is beginning to unfold, a pattern of rise and fall among global powers that the Qur'an hinted at thousands of years ago. From the mysterious numerical signs in Surah Al-Isra, to the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, to the predictions of intelligence agencies from 15 global superpowers, everything seems to point toward one conclusion. The world is entering the greatest turning point of this century. And when all major powers are deemed unfit to lead, one force they fear the most emerges from where they least expect it: the rise of Islamic glory. Now, one question remains: which Muslim nation will become the center of that resurgence?
Did you know the Qur'an might contain a hidden code about the end times? It's a fascinating theory, and today, we're diving deep into it. Throughout history, the Qur'an tells the story of a people who were given scripture, prophethood, and authority, yet repeatedly caused great corruption on earth. This story is detailed in Surah Al-Isra, verses 4-8. Allah states that the children of Israel would commit to major acts of corruption, and for each one, a severe punishment would follow. For centuries, scholars saw these verses as a historical reminder, but some modern researchers see something more: a recurring pattern that will play out again near the end of times. They believe what happened in the past is set to return in a modern form. Some have even taken this a step further by counting the words in these specific verses. From verse 4 to verse 8, there are exactly 1,443 words. This number has been linked to the year 1443 Hijri, which corresponds to late 2021 and 2022. Many believe this year marked the start of huge transformations in the Islamic world. Think about it. Since then, we've seen major global events, a decline in morality, and a rise in religious awareness in many places. It feels like the Muslim community is entering a long-awaited new phase. While this word-counting method, an official interpretation, it's a thought-provoking reflection. It seems the numbers and history are aligning to suggest a new chapter is unfolding. One of the most talked about theories comes from a Qur'anic studies scholar, Dr. Bassam. His research connects the rise and fall of nations with chronological patterns found in sacred texts. He points to a cycle where the Muslim world experiences a revival every century. He explains that since the fall of the last great Islamic power, the Ottoman Empire, in 1924, the following 100 years are a key period. This period is believed to open the door to the next great revival. This means the year 2024 is seen as the beginning of a massive shift, when Islam starts its next period of resurgence, just like it has in previous centuries. Now let's look at another popular analysis in end times studies. It focuses on the year 1948, which is seen as the beginning of the rise of the modern power of Bani Israel. Researchers then add the number 76. Why 76? In some narrations, this number represents the span of a single generation. The calculation is simple. 1948 plus 76 equals 2024. This year is believed to be a major turning point. It's not about a sudden collapse, but the beginning of a decline for a previously dominant power. This gradual process will shift global power and pave the way for another power, one favored by Allah, to rise. When you combine the number 76, the year 1948, and the 100-year cycle since the fall of the Ottoman Empire, it seems to form a unified sign that the world is entering an era of massive transformation. This all leads to a huge question: who and which country will lead the world next? To answer that, let's go back to February 12, 2012. In New York, a very important meeting took place. 15 of the world's most powerful nations gathered. These weren't just any nations. They had the strongest militaries, economies, and intelligence agencies on the planet. They came together to discuss one thing: who will take over global leadership from the year 2020 onward. This was in 2012, 8 years before the date they were discussing. The meeting included the United States, Russia, Israel, and other major players. Their discussion was later reported by the New York Times, and the official announcement came from both the CIA and the KGB. So what did these top intelligence agencies conclude? They identified for potential future leaders of the world. Remember, this is their analysis, not a Muslim perspective. The four candidates were the United States, China, international mafias, and the Islamic Caliphate. Let's break down their assessment of each one. First, the United States. Does America still have what it takes to lead? For decades, the world was dominated by two superpowers, the Soviet Union in the East and the United States in the West. But the Soviet Union collapsed after its disastrous war in Afghanistan. That left the United States as the sole superpower. But then, America repeated the exact same mistake. It went to war in Afghanistan, draining its energy, finances, and military strength. According to the 2012 assessment by these intelligence agencies, the United States was already in its death throes. Their conclusion was that from 2020 onward, the US would no longer be capable of leading the world. Again, this wasn't a hopeful wish from Muslims. It was the cold, hard analysis of the world's top intelligence experts. Second on the list was China. China's greatest strength is its economy. Its economic influence is spreading everywhere, giving it control over entire regions and nations. But after analyzing China's strengths and weaknesses, the majority of the agencies came to a surprising conclusion. China's weaknesses actually outweigh its strengths. So, they decided that China would not be able to lead the world from 2020 onward either. The third possibility was a strange one. International mafias. We're talking about global criminal organizations with advanced intelligence networks, their own international economic systems, and even military power and weapons technology that can surpass some smaller nations. Could these global gangsters rule the world? The intelligence agencies looked at the possibility, and their conclusion was clear. Impossible. They simply don't have the structure or legitimacy to maintain global leadership. That left only one candidate, the Islamic Caliphate. Even though they were reluctant to discuss it, the facts forced them to. They analyzed the potential of a unified Islamic leadership. They looked at the teachings of Islam, the massive global Muslim population, their rich history, and their future prospects. Their discussion quickly shifted from if it could rise to how to prevent it from rising. Why? Because according to their own analysis, they concluded that from 2020 onward, the entity with the greatest potential and the highest likelihood to lead the world is the Islamic Caliphate. They found that all the essential ingredients for global leadership already present within Islam, its comprehensive system of governance, its laws, its moral character, and its built-in readiness to serve all of humanity. They realized that technology is just a tool, a minor issue. The real substance of leadership, the core values and principles, are already deeply embedded in Islam, and for this very reason, they have been actively working to prevent the re-emergence of any form of a unified Islamic Caliphate. So, if all these signs are pointing to a new era, and if even the world's top intelligence agencies see the potential for Islamic leadership, it brings us to a final, crucial question. Which Muslim country, or which group of countries, will be the one to lead the world in the future? What do you think? I'm really curious to hear your opinions. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this.